In this video, I want to talk about the presidency, the current administration that we have. Sometimes I feel that God allows things to happen in order to wake his people up, in order for his people to kind of see what's really going on in the world. Sometimes people become complacent or they get the attitude, well, it has nothing to do with me. It's them. That's something that they need to worry about. Oh, thank God I'm not in that position because I don't have to worry about that. But we're called to always think about our neighbors. Always, even though, the word neighbors doesn't mean someone that's living exactly right next door to you, but it's your fellow man. It's mankind, humankind. As Christians, as Americans, just as a human being, you're supposed to care what's happening to someone else, even if that person is not related to you, even if that person is not part of your family, even if that person don't look anything like you. That's why we have compassion. We expect God, Jesus, to have mercy and compassion on us, but do we really show that to other people? Or do we only care when that person looks like us, talk like us, sound like us, live in the area that we live in, someone that's close to us, someone that we know? Is that the only time we care? With the current administration, it opened our eyes to, opened a lot of people's eyes to SA, opened a lot of people's eyes to ST. When the border became open and the illegal immigrants started coming across, there was a lot of unaccompanied children that came with them. I'm going to read something to you. Congressman Bob Latta, Ohio, District 5, who has traveled to the southern border 4 times today, released the following statement after the Department of Homeland Security, DHS, released a report detailing nearly 300,000 illegal immigrant children are unaccounted for in the United States. The open border policy of the Biden-Harris administration have led to a national security and humanitarian crisis unlike we have ever seen along our southern borders. With the release of the DHS report, the pressing question remains, where are these missing children? It is deeply disturbing that, according to the report, Immigration and Customs Enforcement have no assurance these missing immigrant children are safe from trafficking, exploitation, or forced labor. This is completely unacceptable. The Biden-Harris administration must be held accountable for this extreme dereliction of duty. In the past, I made videos about this, all these unaccompanied kids. And the only thing that has resulted from that, from the first time I spoke about the open borders and all these unaccompanied kids, the number got higher. The number did not get lower. The number got higher as far as the missing children. 300,000 missing kids that came across the border, and no one knows where they are. No one knows what's happened to them. Initially, when the kids was come across the border and they was allowing them to go with adults, these people were saying, oh, this is my, I'm related to them. I'm their auntie, I'm their cousin, I'm their grandmother, I'm their father, I'm their uncle. And they would have blood tests done to ensure that this child was related to whoever this person was that was coming to get them. They stopped that because it was taking too much time. And then some people did not want to do blood tests. So to alleviate that inconvenience for those people, not for the kids, but for the people the adults, they started allowing these kids, if the person came, they didn't have to show any type of proof that this is a child that I'm related to. They would allow these kids to go with the people and then have them, give them a phone number and say, okay, call us back, at this time. These people never called back. They called the phone numbers. The phone numbers no longer in use. So they have all these kids that they have no idea where they're at. 300 and some thousand kids missing that came across the border. Is that what the United States is about? This is the country that is supposed to be so great? Is this the country that's supposed to be the big brother to all these other countries? that you allowed 300 some thousand kids to go missing. You don't know what happened to these kids. You don't know if they're still living. You don't know if they're being, child labor and they're just being forced to work and have a miserable life, being mistreated. You don't know if they're part of a ST, where they're actually just pimping these kids out to whoever want them and don't care. You really, no one can say other than the people that's doing it, the people that have these kids. Those are the only people that know what's going on with these kids. And it's like America has turned a blind eye to this, because that number should have never been allowed to get that high. Like I said, it's not like it's just happened. I spoke about it. Other people spoke about it. And the only thing, like I said, the number just kept getting higher and higher. And so closing the border isn't just about illegal immigrants coming across and not knowing who they are, not vetting them. Having an open border is not just about people being put into certain neighborhoods and they're overpopulating those neighborhoods. They're taking resources from the neighborhood. Having an open border is not about drugs coming across the border. Having an open border is also about this criminal activity. This is, you have to think about how sick a person is if they want to have a relationship with a child. An adult person wants to have a relationship with a child. You have to really think about how sick that person is. And that person is walking around. That person is sitting in a certain position. That person is maybe somebody that you know, maybe somebody you look up to, maybe somebody that you admire, but in their closet, behind a trap door, they have kids back there that they're abusing. This is the stuff that we really need to, as Christians and as Americans, we really need to wake up and look at this. When you sit and look at this, and you look at the new cases that came out with Mike Jeffries, that was the CEO of Abercrombie and Fitch, and you hear what he has done as far as drugging these young men, ST and everything that he has been accused of when it comes to his actual perversion, the things that he likes getting into, even if he had to force it on someone. Then you look at the situation with P. Diddy, all these charges that came up against him. Then you also look at what has been going on in the Catholic Church when it comes to these young boys and what has been happening to them. You look at American churches when it comes to these young men, and the preachers and the pastors been taking advantage of them and everything like that. So this isn't just about Hollywood. This isn't just about the music industry, whether it's in the rap world or just any type of music, or Hollywood, or kids coming across the board. This is across the line. There's no division that you can think of that you're not going to find perversion in it. I stay in Florida. We have all types of theme parks where kids, tourists come in, kids come, and to have fun, to have a good time. People that work there are into kids. They're into abusing kids. They're into looking at kids. They're into getting their thrill, their kicks off of kids. You have people at school, places where kids are known to go and where kids should be safe, are the same places where perversion is, where stalkers are, where predators are. And so when you stop looking at these people as human, because a lot of people, what end up happening with a lot of people, just like this catch and kill type of thing. It's one thing when you look at this catch and kill situation. It might seem like, well, this person don't want to put that information out there. But at the same time, yeah, it might, even if it was two adults, sometimes these people are predators. And when they get away with it, they keep doing it. So you're allowing someone to be out there in the world that's going to start stalking someone else. It's like, it's just horrifying and wrong on so many levels. And then, like I said, it's this administration. When you look at Joe Biden, when you look at Kamala Harris, When you look at what they allow to go on in school, trying to sexualize kids very early, so they can be promiscuous, so they can be curious, so it can be easy. They can be easy prey. You see what they're trying to do when it comes to letting them know, oh, you don't have to be a little boy, or you don't have to be a little girl. You can change it if you want to, and then try to keep all this away from the parents because they don't want the parents to, reject what they're saying to their own kids. They try to take the kids away from the parents and make the parents look like the evil person, the villain, because they're trying to protect their kids. So you got to look at all that came with this administration. Like I said, sometimes God allowed things to happen to open people's eyes, to wake people up, to see what's really going on out there in this world. The stuff that has been talked about in the Bible is what we're seeing going on in this world. But people want to look at the Bible like, oh, it's not real. Oh, it's fake. Oh, how you know it's true, this, that, and the other. Because God is God's word. That's what makes it true. Regardless of who wrote what book in the Bible or whatever, it's all inspired by God. And he's trying to, just like when we read the Bible, you see he tried to warn his people over and over and over again. Turn away from your sin and turn back from me. Turn back to me. He is very patient to give you time. He allowed things to happen to wake you up so you can see what's really going on out here in this world. With Kamala Harris, she was supposed to be in charge of the border. And you have Christian that's saying they okay voting with voting for her. They're saying, oh, I won't vote for Donald Trump, but I'll vote for Kamala. You got to look at the things that Kamala is okay with. She's okay with abortion. She's okay with sexualizing kids at a very young age. She's okay with telling kids and allowing them to take puberty blockers, something that they cannot undo once it starts. She's okay with doing all that, which is also against God. It's a video with Kamala Harris. It's two young men that was in a rally that she was having on their school campus. And they yelled out, Christ is King and Jesus is Lord. She told them they was at the wrong rally. They need to go down the street to the smaller one. But then she showed up at a church, Jamal Bryant Church. The people in that congregation should have stood up and started yelling, Christ is King, Jesus is Lord, and see if she would have told them, y'all at the wrong place. Because obviously she was at the wrong place. Because if you're going to tell a person to leave just because they're stating the truth that Christ is King and Jesus is Lord, and you're advocating abortion rights, but then you're going to show up at a church, knowing that a church is supposed to be representation of God, representation of Jesus. And so for Jamal Bryant to even allow you to come in there after you are okay with everything that God is against, that would make it question him as well as question you. But then you want people to vote for you. But I guess you don't, you feel you can do anything you want to. And just because you're claiming to be black, just because you're a woman, because everybody wants to go to black men and say, hey, vote for this woman because she represents y'all, which I don't understand that point when she's an Indian woman raised by an Indian mother, grew up in an Indian family, and is not black. So how is she going to relate to the plight of the black man, of the black woman, of the black child? How can she stand up in a church, the audacity to stand up in the church when she's allowing 300,000 kids to come across the border and no one knows where they're at? So she cannot monitor these kids that she's allowed to come into this country. What make you think she's going to care about your kids? What make you think she's going to care about what's going on in your life? She has shown you already. Like they said, when a person shows you who they are, believe them. She has shown you already she doesn't care. The only thing she care about is looking cute. Standing up there, she don't even want to study. She don't even want to learn her position. She don't even want to know what's really going on to have a serious conversation. And then when she's challenged, she wants to get mad or she wants to start laughing about it. This is not a joke. These are real lives that are being affected by the decision that her and Joe Biden is making. And then we're supposed to trust her for another 4 years? Like I have said before, and like I'm saying now, can you really say this country can handle that? Another 4 years with her actually driving this country? Where do you think she's going to take us in another 4 years if she's chosen as president of these United States? How can you imagine this country will look? Because like I said, she has no desire to close the border. She is okay with allowing abortion up into birth. If a child comes out, they can go ahead and legally kill. I understand that in the womb is still murder, but this child done made it into this world, but they can still kill it up into birth. They can kill a child and still label it as abortion and not murder. Because they love to scream that when the child is in the womb, it's not really a child. But then when the child come out the womb, then what? It's still it's still considered an abortion up into birth. So it's like these things that these people try to put forward, these things that when you try to challenge them on, if they truly believe in that, if it's truly something righteous, there should be no pushback when a person question or challenge them. They should be able to stand up and defend what they believe in without a problem. But every time you try to challenge these people, they want to throw labels at you. When you challenge her, oh, you don't want me in this seat because I'm a woman. You have a problem with a woman in authority. You have a problem with a woman being the president. No, I have a problem, and the world has a problem with illiterate women who can't handle hard questions, but supposed to be the leader of this world, of the free world, of this country. So when these men that don't respect women in these other countries have to deal with you, what are you going to do? Sit up there and laugh the whole time? It's going to be a joke to you? Will they be able to take you serious? Will you be able to negotiate certain deals that may need to happen behind doors? Or are you going to sit up there and be so disrespectful to them and not show up? Not talk to them? Want to change your accent while you're speaking to them so you can seem like you're more like them? That's disrespectful. Not just to those people in the other country. It's really disrespectful to anybody when you're trying to perpetrate or play like you're them, but not in a respectful way, but in a disrespectful way, because you feel like, oh, if I sound like them, they would accept me. Just like when Obama came in, it was like, oh, I'm talking to the brothers. No, you're talking to young, intelligent men. And that's the way you should have stepped to them, as if you understand that they are young, intelligent men. They're not brothers, because when you say that, brothers, you're trying to bring them down to your level and say, hey, I'm the president of the United States. I'm going to talk to you like this, and you need to do what I do. No, you need to talk to them with respect. Respect is not given. Respect is earned, and you're not earning their respect. That's the problem, and that's what y'all can't deal with in the Democrat Party. Y'all respect no one, but y'all want everyone to respect you. And then when people let you know, no, you got to earn my respect. You got to earn my vote. You got to earn my time. You got to earn my respect. Then y'all got a problem with that in the Democratic Party because y'all not used to that. Y'all used to things just being given to you just because you have a conversation and you throw bones out there. Oh, look, here's a rapper. Get happy that we brought this rapper to you. Oh, here's a movie star. Be happy because we brought a movie star to you. You've been feeding these people bones and stuff like that. Now they're asking for meat and you can't produce that. Now it's a problem. Like I said, 300,000 kids are missing. Is she planning on, the question needs to be, Kamala Harris, when you become president of the United States, are you planning on looking for these 300 and some thousand kids? Are you planning on sending a task force out there to find them? Are you going to close the border so no more kids can come into this country and disappear? It's very serious. And like I said, when you look at all these allegations against people that's currently in this country and the things they're doing that because they feel like they can do anything they want to, because they're powerful people, because they have money, and they think they're untouchable. And that's why they keep doing what they're doing. And they could care less about people, because every time someone get ready to tell on them, oh, let me pay this person off so they don't tell. Oh, let me pay that person off so they don't tell. Oh, let me threaten that person so they don't say anything. And that's what they do. And like I said, in the Bible, they talk about that, because when you ex traffic, that's stealing a person. And so in Leviticus 19:11, it says, you should not steal, you should not deal falsely, you should not lie to one another. So they're lying to these people, they're dealing falsely with these people, and they're also stealing them. They're taking away their ability to do what they want to do, and they're just using them for their own pleasure. And then when you read Exodus 21:16, it says, whoever steals a man and sells him, and anyone found in possession of him shall be put to death. So when you take these people against their will, they're not just giving these people away, they're actually selling them. All these kids, they're selling these kids. People have a just like when you go to the store and shop for certain things, you have a list. Oh, I want this product, but I want it in this brand. I want it in this size. Or if it comes in different colors or flavor, I want this color, I want that flavor. That's how they do with these kids. Oh, I want a little boy between the age of 7 and 10. I want a little girl between the age of 8 and 12. I want long hair, short hair. I want dark hair, light hair. I want this. They have a wish list when it comes to these kids. For whatever reason, they're going to have these kids. Like I said, sometimes they're using these kids for organs. That's all they see them as, is body parts. Oh, I need this, this, and this, and they use that, use those kids for those reasons. Oh, I have a fetish of being with kids, sleeping with kids, because I feel that it's okay. I'm sick like that, and I think it's okay. But I'm into a certain age group. If they're over the age of 12, they're too old for me. I don't want to deal with a 13-year-old. I want to deal with somebody between the age of 7 and 12. You have all kinds of things like this going on. So they're negotiating, they're bargaining, they're buying these kids. And I spoke about a video that I did where I was saying it was 2 videos that I seen. And in both of those videos, they kept saying they was trying to give information to CPS, and CPS was not listening to them, or CPS didn't do anything, or CPS looked the other way. And CPS that I know is Child Protective Services. And I kept saying, well, if you have information that CPS is selling these kids, why not put forth that information? Why not have that information out there so the authorities can look into it, can investigate, and see if this is really true, and see if if CPS are using these kids to make money by selling them to the highest bidder. And if you have reports that you have given to CPS and they didn't act on it, then go to someone else. Keep talking about it to get something done, so people can do an investigation and look into CPS. And I kept saying it was strange to me to keep hearing CPS. But then I thought about it. And CPS can also stand for cost per sale. So like I was saying in that other video, are these codes that are being given out, is CPS, does it really stand for cost per sale? Are you letting these people know, hey, I got kids available, but it's going to be cost per sale, and then the people who's hearing that understand what they're trying to say. That's what I was saying in that other video, because I was saying a lot of things did not match up with what that girl was saying. And like I said, if she's a victim, I feel bad for her. But if she's a person that's working to recruit other victims, I don't feel bad for her. But at the same time, a lot of things she was saying did not match up, and a lot of things she was saying did not make sense. And when she said she got all this evidence, all this paperwork, all this documentation on CPS, so is she really trying to say cost per sale? I got all these kids, I got different kids, I got different paperwork, but it's going to be a cost per sale of these kids depending on which one you want. So I know I'm all over the place with this video, but it really has it's about sick people in this world that takes advantage of other people, especially when it comes to kids. When you read John 10:10, it says, "The thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. I came that they may have life and have it abundantly." And that's Jesus speaking. And you have to understand the steal and kill and destroy part. I spoke before about when I was SA, and I said at the same time, when that happened, it's like a part of me, it's like I was no longer that innocent child. My childhood was gone. Part of me died that day. It's hard to explain, but I did not come out of that situation the same. Part of me died, and it's like I suffered in certain ways that I can't explain, that, it's like I don't want that to be my story, but it is my story, and it affects me. And people who have been through this situation, they will understand what I'm saying when I say, part of you kind of die. You lose part of who you are. You lose trust. It's like different things, you lose self-esteem because you're asking yourself, what did I do? Was it my fault? Did I do something or say something, or what, what was the situation? And so this is Jesus talking about Satan when he said the thief comes to steal, kill, and destroy. So they steal your childhood. Part of your innocence, part of who you are as a person dies. And then they destroy you on a mental level because you're constantly trying to think, what did I do wrong? You don't want to be in that situation. You don't want to think about it, but it pops up sometimes. And then when you look at everything else that's going on in this world, it's like you're reminded how sick this world really is, how sick people in this world really are. So yeah, the thief, Satan, he's using people to steal, kill, and destroy the innocent lives of kids, whether you're destroying them but not allowing them to come out of the womb. You're killing them, you're destroying them, and then sometimes you even harm the mother, because depending on who the doctor is, they might be damaged to the point that they constantly have miscarriage, or they before they ever be able to carry a child full term, or they may not ever be able to carry a child, depending on if certain damages is done. And sometimes a lot of those mothers suffer with depression. And then also, when you look at these little kids, when they're stealing their innocence away at such a young age, in kindergarten, in first grade, second grade, they want to have books about sex. They want to tell kids, you don't have to be, if you want to be a little girl, you can do that. Take these puberty blockers. They're taking away their innocence. They're stealing the innocent. They're killing who they are as a person, because they would never grow up to be the man or the woman God wanted them to be. They will never. They're destroying the possibility of them ever reproducing, ever having a normal life, quote unquote normal life, and have a child if they choose to, get married and have just a normal family life if they choose to. They done destroyed all that. So when the Bible says these things, a lot of people want to turn a blind eye to it and act like, oh, that's an old book. No, the world is trying to catch up. We in this world is trying to catch up with the Bible, because the Bible is actually ahead of us. It's not an old book. It's a living book. It's God's word. God lives in the past, present, and the future all at the same time. So what he was telling these people in this book, the Bible, that was inspired by him, are things that he seen in the future. He knew was going to happen in the future, and he was trying to give us a warning. But we chose to turn a blind eye to what was in the Bible, and feel that we can just do whatever we want to do, and there's no consequences to it. What other people do eventually is going to affect you in some way, shape, or form. You can sit there and say, oh, that has nothing to do with me, or that's not part of me. But just like how these people are coming across the border, in some way, shape, or form, they're gonna affect you. Because suppose you are sitting there, you know who you are, you know how your heart is, and you know, I would never do that, I would never do this. But suppose they get a hold of your child. Suppose they get a hold of someone that you love, whether it be by drugs, whether it be by taking them by force, whether it be assaulting them, and then what? So you can't just think about yourself. Oh, I'm good, but what about somebody around you? What about everyone else? Are they also good? So we have to work together as Christians. We have to work together as American citizens to make sure that we do something to turn this stuff around, because we can. Voting is one way, and then everything else is like, when you, like they say, if you see something, say something. A lot of times these people get away with things not because they're that good, not because they're that clever, because the people that surround them actually protects them, actually the ones that are keeping them safe. When you read, I'm just going to say this, if you get time and you actually read the Bible, first read Genesis 19, and that is the story of Sodom and Gomorrah. Once you finish reading that story of Sodom and Gomorrah in Genesis 19, read Judges 19. This is about the tribe. This is about a Levite man. You know, Benjamin and Levi, all of them are part of the 12 tribes of Israel. And so this Levite man had a concubine, and he was in the town that the tribe of Benjamin owned. And once you read that, you will see the rest of the story. And it's similar to what happened in Sodom and Gomorrah. So all I can say is we just need to pray for this country. We need to pray for everybody that, you know, Donald Trump, as well as Kamala Harris, as well as JD, as well as Tim Walz. We need to pray for all of them, because the only person that can really save us, truly save us, is God, is Jesus.